producer Isaiah Johnson on 95.9 FM and AM 610, The Swamp.
Mike's hot.
It's Thursday, Albuquerque. You know what that means? It means the boys are at the Albuquerque Duke store. Let's go. Steve Palmisano with me here at the Duke store. I am, of course, Fred Slow. Steve, welcome.
How's it going?
Good. Excited to be here with you.
I'm excited to be here with you. I'm in the 2 chair right now.
2 chair? 2 men on?
Yeah, sure.
Two.
No,
The number of
shoot.
the number of points that Tyrese Halliburton scored on that shot. 2.
He had his foot on the line.
Yeah, it was on the line. Isaiah Johnson back at the studio. Isaiah, how are you?
Doing great. Not choking, that's for sure.
Oh, okay. I like that because Tyrese Halliburton did the choking thing.
I saw that.
And I'm being told by the talking heads on TV that that's a story.
I don't know what that means.
Oh, that is first off, Mr. Pro Wrestler over here. There's a reason the WWE's got their hands all over this, and he did everything he was supposed to do. The number one storyline going into this game beforehand is, okay, not too much, star power on the team. So you're thinking back to the Knicks and Pacers of the good old days with Reggie Miller, and you did this choke sign, and you're like, okay, it was almost a joke where it's like, oh, Halliburton's going to pull out the choke sign in Madison Square Garden. And he actually did it after a phenomenal shot with Reggie Miller and Spike Lee, the original 2 people in the stands. That was storytelling at its best. And he went out there and produced.
Close. I mean, that was incredibly close.
Triple H is the happiest guy in the world right now. He's the happiest guy. You put Halliburton all over WWE, put him in the video game, and then he goes out and hits a phenomenal game tying shot. I want to say game winner because they won.
I don't know how it translates to WWE.
Yeah, well, because he recently was added to the WWE downloadable content for a video game, and some months ago he was in the WWE at a SmackDown against Jalen Brunson, which was kind of a fun foreshadowing. And of course, there is merchandise for sale because when money is to be made, no one is better than TKO at making it. But I will say this about the gesture. Follow your heart as long as you're not harming anyone else. Outside of that, I don't think I can have an excitable conversation about is he a good person or a bad person, or if that is against social norms or quorums or whatever in the world. I agree with Isaiah. It was super produced for Reggie Miller. Super produced.
Well, who's someone's going that far as saying the gesture was like obscene or something?
That is my understanding. So my understanding is from, and I only listened.
It's a violent gesture.
I only listened to one talking head.
Okay.
So the only radio show I listened to, I think I've talked about this before. But yeah, it's you. It's you, Steve Palmisano of the Duke store.
That's what I thought.
I don't listen to any of the morning stuff. Any of the wake up and yell at you stuff, that's not for me. But I do listen to, because I know him personally, and he's a guy that's helped me in my career a lot, is Chris Russo. So I listen to Chris Mad Dog Russo. And
he's the number one yeller.
He's an afternoon guy, though.
He will get on First Take and out scream.
Oh, that's a different one. That's TV, the radio show. Okay,
gotcha.
Yeah, I'll give you an example. Here's why the TV show is bad. The TV show is bad because he can't say about the NBA what he wants to say about the NBA because they have the partnership. The TV show is bad because he can't and then you fill in the blank, whatever ESPN has association with. The radio show, Sirius XM, is not that. The radio show that he does is him giving, his opinion based in East Coast bias, blah, blah, blah. But he today hit it with the disgraceful word. And I don't know. I mean, I don't know. We look at some of the characters that are out here as people. Don't tell me that gesture is the one that's going to disrupt the synergy of the league.
Was it a problem when Reggie Miller did it?
That's really when I haven't heard this.
It was.
I haven't heard this angle. I know the throat slicing right now and the gun stuff is they're sensitive towards that, but there's absolutely no way. I mean,
I don't remember it being a problem when Reggie Miller did it. I thought it was sweet.
Because he did it to Spike Lee. And then, of course, the Latrell Sprewell stuff and PJ Carlomisi. Am I getting this right?
Carlissimo.
Thank you. Like all of that was relevant. All that was real.
Right.
And it's wild. It's wild. But I'm in with Isaiah. When Undertaker does the throat slash, I don't overreact. I think the Undertaker doing the throat slash is part of the Undertaker. Now, when
the rules are a little different for them.
Well, I mean, telling stories out there
compared to the NBA.
Well, can I ask a question?
I mean, there is lots to ask. So yes.
So Reggie Miller did it because
he's a bad dude, and
the other
scored.
team choked, right?
That is correct.
And he hit the winning shot.
Well, and if you remember, Spike Lee had said that Reggie would
hit the shot.
No, would choke.
Yeah. So what's wrong with going back? I mean,
nothing in my opinion.
Didn't Jordan get up on the scores table and say, well, not 1, not 2, not 3?
Yeah.
And then Kobe got up years later and said, not 1, not 2.
Well,
that's a traditional thing that
both of them paved the way for Jason Tatum. So let's be honest on that. So I mean, if we're going to put respect where respect is deserved.
Wild.
All right.
But Halliburton, he's rated over. Everyone called him overrated.
Yep.
If there was one thing from this series, it's just as good as it's why all the artists today, where there's some artists that are so good at remaking an old popular song that you don't even know that it's from another song that came out 20, 30 years ago. So before this series, I mean, the Reggie Miller, Spike Lee, I remember before I was even interested in basketball, seeing my dad just watch a documentary, and I'd seen that on the screen. I'm like, what's the big deal about this? I didn't really understand it. So then for this now to come back around and everyone's talking about this series might not be exciting. There's no LeBron, there's no Steph. The conference finals are going to suck. This was the best thing, or the number one thing that could have happened is imagine Halliburton hits the choke sign in Madison Square Garden. He needed a good reason to do it. So he felt that this was the time, but he did say shortly after that once he realized he did not get the 3-pointer, he was like, if I'd have known it wasn't a 3, I wouldn't have done it. And now I can't do it again, or else I'll be aura farming.
But he had to do it in this moment because he might not get another one.
Exactly.
I mean, the Knicks can win the next 4, and was it 1 overtime or 2? 1 overtime because they barely missed the second. So when he hits that, and by the way, that's not a clean 2-pointer on the line, almost 3-pointer, back iron, 15 feet off the top of the rim, comes back down. No. It's not like he was out there and surgical. He bumped through it. And hey, big shot.
He hit the shot.
He hit the shot. 2 points count. But when you get a chance to peacock,
you got to do it.
You got to do it because he's not going to get the chance again. And
plus, he hit the other shot in the other series. That same sort of thing.
He's bad
in the lane, comes back out, hits the winning shot.
He's a bad dude.
Yeah,
bad dude.
So I don't know that. I
didn't see this coming from him.
But
I didn't see it.
But I mean, to make it like it now, it's some big, storytelling WWE. Everybody's getting involved. I think
that part I'm not into.
It's like he just did it for the histrionics of the whole.
Yeah,
thing.
I think the storytelling. I think that's all a positive. Now, for it being a negative, I just haven't deep dived enough yet to see that side of it. But from what I'm saying, the whole storyline, WWE, all that's all the positives, because obviously you want to make something as big as possible. And the WWE only comes up because he's been tied in with them. 2 days before this game, he's on an interview being released as a new player. And he's not the most popular guy in the NBA, but this shot made him way bigger. And
again, it's all about timing, because whatever, downloadable content for $29.99 or whatever, that stuff's not done today. But you make the announcement yesterday because of the timeliness, and they could do it whenever it's ready, which I guess it's not. I don't know if it is not or not, but the point is, when you're in a league that is based solely around the association is about entertainment. That's what this thing is. Is the basketball better than ever? Yes. Do people say that? No. The association right now is more entertaining than it has ever been. And think back, 1999. Because that's the last 2 times these 2 teams have been in this position. And at that time, these 2 teams were not the 2 teams then either that were supposed to be doing it. In 99, I guess that's a year after Jordan retired, but the Bulls still had Pippen. In 99, we could run the list. And Reggie never won anything. I don't think people talk about that.
That's his biggest moment.
Shoot.
It's the Spike Lee moment.
Super biggest moment. His biggest moment was being Cheryl Miller's little sister. I was close. Hey, but Reggie's a guy who became a commentator. He was a very, very good basketball player. Now he's a commentator. He ain't a champ.
He's in there. He said that's the best part. Reggie is a commentator. He's very. You can tell he was a scrapper as a player.
Used to hoop,
instigating.
Yeah, used to hoop.
Yeah.
He used to be a 3-point shooter. Now he's not that anymore because everyone's a 3-point shooter. He's not even in the conversation anymore.
Yeah,
he was the conversation.
Yeah, he was good. He was a good shooter.
He was really good. But now guys that specialize in it, that cat
he was right under the top tier of players at the time.
What's the name of that cat that hit the 6 threes in a row the other night? Like these dudes are any dude off the name Naismith. Well, I guess he's named after basketball, but I mean, all these dudes can do it now.
Right. Steph Curry can shoot.
I've heard he's good.
Yeah, yeah.
And his little brother.
Somebody said he revolutionized the game.
Well, I would believe that too.
Yeah.
Ray Allen. You know, there's names, and those guys have all won. Reggie don't win nothing. He's like Charles Barkley. Don't win. I'm a big make people talk about you, but if at all your reaction is any sort of negative around this thing, miss me.
Yeah.
Because I'm in and what it has done. Also, they're going to lose 4 straight.
I don't know about
I don't either. That
they might win 3. Pacers might win 3 straight. I think the Knicks, that's who they played, right? The Knicks.
Yeah.
I think they blew their whole beating the Celtics. That was it. That was their series.
Quote of the day right there.
What?
They
shot their
blew their hole.
Yeah.
Stealing someone's celebration, I have an opinion on.
Yeah.
I don't know if you do it.
I think it was cool. I mean, how could you not do that?
It depends. And I was thinking about this. It depends. In this situation, especially with one that big, it's almost like when a player passes, gives you the right to wear his retired number. In this situation, it's same team going against the same team, same building, and Reggie's there.
But did they ask? If they talked about it, I'm on like a cooler level. But specifically because it's same sport too. Now, if you do a thing and you hit me with like the major league, like any sort of like Huevos celebration kind of thing, okay, like I get it. Like that plays here in the NBA because Reggie already did it. Reggie's that guy, and you got to get permission from that guy. Like no one does the Mutombo finger wag.
They do.
No,
it's already been done.
They do that.
No, not like he did.
They do the
they do the Mutombo way. The finger
no,
they do the Deion Sanders dance all the time in the NFL.
Yeah.
They do the Reggie Lewis dance or Ray Lewis dance.
Yeah, it's wildly different though. I'm telling you.
Red's a big fan of Ray.
Of Ray Lewis, the guy who killed a guy.
Yeah. And they still do all that.
I hate Ray Lewis.
I think in this situation also you might be able to make a case that Tyrese's was better.
No, it was not the celebration. The celebration was worse because Reggie looked at the camera. He looked at Spike Lee. Like if Tyrese had found the camera, if Tyrese knew, like with the hard cam was on him, because Tyrese is looking at his boyfriends on the court. Like if he had looked to and I didn't see the numbers, but I bet it's around 3 million, 4 million people that watched. If he'd have looked at them and done it,
yeah.
You find the hard cam. That's WWE 101.
I don't think anybody saw it coming. I mean,
the cameraman had one job. Well, beforehand, it was anticipated. It's like, this is something that could possibly happen. It was almost like when LeBron was getting ready to pass Kareem, and it's like, pass him with a hook shot. You know, and he said that he was thinking about it. He said that he was actually, before the game, he was convinced that he actually was going to try and pass Kareem with a hook shot. But then the game, I think it was on he ended up hitting on a jumper. But in this situation, it 100% was in his mind. And he said in the post-game interview, he's like, I knew I had to do it at some point, and I had to find the right time to pull it out. And I thought that was the time, but because it was a 2, not a 3, he feels that he wasted it.
He didn't find the right time. He found the first time.
Yeah. The camera.
I don't think it mattered if it was a 2 or a 3. He won the game.
Eventually. Obi Toppin won the game.
Tied it.
I thought the 2-pointer won it anyway.
No, that tied it. That's into overtime. And then Obi Toppin hit like a weird dunk at the end to put him up by 3, and then the Knicks couldn't figure it out on a inbound. It was like a half court inbound after a timeout. The only time that you're supposed to draw up a play and be able to execute in this exact moment, and they showed up and
he was mic'd up. So what I'll try to do is get the audio. And he's mic'd up after he hit the shot.
So yeah, a little premature on that whole thing.
A little premature.
Yeah, I think.
Well, that's the thing when you get into choking, you just don't know if it's going to be premature or not. There's a conversation that has to be had.
Yeah, I think it's just funny. He's freaking out after he hits the shot, and then after like 3 seconds, he realizes, wait, this is it. And he hits the choke.
Well, because it was up there in the heavens. It just sat up there.
Yeah. I think this is kind of what I said beforehand, where it's like, all right, so it's like when parents leave you the house, it's all cool, but you also have to show them that you are worthy of being able to take care of the house when they go on vacation. And the Knicks, Pacers, Timberwolves, and the Thunder have the responsibility of showing NBA fans that they can still put on an entertaining show without your LeBron, your Stephs, your Lukas, even your Celtics. And he had to do it. He had to do it. Halliburton was already bigger than he was in the regular season before that game. But him hitting that choke sign, 10 years from now, people will remember that. So he's solidified himself just off that. Just like Reggie did, as we were just explaining.
That wasn't Reggie proving it, though. Reggie was already there.
Yeah.
He just solidified it with that.
Yeah.
But that's what we think of, though. Like
he would have solidified it if he won. That's the problem. He wanted a winner. Tyrese has to win. Otherwise, he's just a guy who tried to be like another guy.
Well, then again, they both didn't
I
win,
think
so
when people think about Reggie Miller, they think he's one of the top players.
Of what? Coming in second?
The NBA. Sure.
Yeah.
Just getting them there. You said they weren't supposed to be
being
there,
a player.
Yeah, if the team's not supposed to be there, and you get there and you get your big moment.
Yeah, not supposed to be there according to who?
You. I didn't know. You told me. You're the one who told me they weren't supposed to be there.
That year, if you remember, the Knicks were the 8th seed because that's the year they went from the 8 all the way to the championship. And so what would that put the Pacers? Doing the math, because they would have beat the 1. So they were the 2 seed. And they didn't even make it to the finals. Cool move. And that's the last thing Tyrese Halliburton wants, is to do the Reggie choke my mouth move and then not make it to the finals. Loser. Reggie Miller's a loser. Tyrese Halliburton's a loser. Larry Johnson would make a fist with his left hand, and he would punch the inside elbow of his right arm. And that's all Larry Johnson had to do to get to the finals. Figure it out.
It's a big L.
Big L for Larry Johnson. I don't remember that.
I just now realized that that's what he was doing, was an L.
Yes, for Larry.
Oh, okay.
Larry.
Also, let's keep in mind in this game, the Pacers were down 5 with 30 seconds left. They were not supposed to win.
That's their whole thing.
I checked the score and I put my phone down, and then all of a sudden I got a notification that said stunning buzzer beater from Halliburton. And I pull up the video and I see him doing a choke. I said, no way. No way. Was this not the exact same as if LeBron would have done past Kareem with the hook shot after we were all talking about it?
Well, after the game, Steve Palmisano texted me. What'd you text me? Choke me, Reggie? Is that what you texted me?
I did one of these, the L.
You did put the fist into the elbow, made the L.
Yeah.
There you have it. Van Nully joins us after the break. It's 2 Men On, live from the Albuquerque Duke store. Also, if you didn't start your day today at the Y, you could. Also, this Memorial Day weekend, take advantage of, the hours. Close on Monday, obviously, or whatever. But ton going on with registrations for your summer camps, your weekend camp, your overnight camps, and youth programming. Register at ymcacnm.org. 2 Men On, 95.9 FM and AM 610, the sports animal.
This report is sponsored by...
I need to do a welcome back, but first I need to tell Dan to mute his StreamYard because he doesn't know how to do television and radio at the same time. Welcome back to the program. It's 2 Men On, live from the Duke Store. Van Nunley joins us. Van, welcome.
Well, it's good to be here, boys. Feeling good, feeling sexy. Sorry I was a tad late.
Well, you got to sleep in today.
That is incorrect.
It's our Isham Dental soundbite of the day, ishamdentalabq.com. Reach out to Scott at 505-881-0422. And that, of course, is located over at 3900 Eubank Boulevard, of course, northeast, where if you go in there, Scott will put the fingers that have been in my mouth in your mouth, and he will help you with your dentures. We're talking $550 per arch. That's $1,000 for the set. All forms of insurance, including Medicare A and B. It's our Isham Dental soundbite of the day.
Did I get the three? I didn't get the three. You didn't get the three. How did I not get that?
So that was Tyrese Halliburton mic'd up.
Screaming into a pillow? Is that what he was doing?
No, so he actually, it was his game mic that he was mic'd up. And what's funny is I didn't realize this until I saw the caption because he's very muffled.
Yeah.
We were talking about if Reggie gave him permission. Well, he screamed, Reggie, they choked. So he screams at the crowd first, and then he looks right at Reggie and screams, Reggie, they choked, and then puts his hands over his neck.
As soon as
Definitely iconic.
As soon as the Knicks come back and win 4 straight games and embarrass him, this is going to haunt him forever.
Well, he'll always have this one game.
Jalen Brunson be involved, so Triple H is sitting back. He can't lose.
Trey,
I thought you were affiliated. You should be on wrestling side here. All this is marvelous.
Except for Trae Young is going to move to number 2.
Ja Morant, I understand.
Okay.
We have a gun issue in this country.
Yeah.
I understand the outrage.
Yeah.
We're doing choking now, too. We're being outraged by choking hand gestures. Is that what we're doing?
No.
Is this what our country's doing now? Now we're outraged by choking gestures?
I'm outraged.
What else?
Real?
What else can we be upset by?
So this is real.
Is
That's a
there-
real thing going on.
Is there a rash of school chokings in this country? People storming malls, doing mass chokings? Is that what we're doing now? Is everyone related to David Carradine somehow? Why are we offended by choking?
I don't know if everyone gets
This
that
is
reference.
enough. It's a deep cut, but it is a very good one.
I will say this.
Go ahead.
Shannon Sharp recently incorporated choking into some text messages. I didn't think that was great.
Hey, what adults do in the privacies of their own bedroom is fine.
You mean?
I would also say this. The universal sign for choking is a strong indicator that someone is.
Yeah.
And I never want to outlaw that.
Thank you for that, Fred. Thank you for your endorsement of not
Good
getting
point,
rid
yeah.
of the universal sign for choking.
Just don't do it on the basketball court.
This is
I
so
never-
dumb. That was a fun moment. That was a iconic moment. Reminiscent, obviously, of Reggie Miller in Madison Square Garden. He was in the building. Spike Lee was in the building. It was perfect. That is
Everybody's-
incredibly entertaining. Good job, Hallie.
But it's from a guy who knows he's going to end up being a loser because he did it on the first opportunity. And if he was actually bad, if he was a bad dude, he would have waited until the closeout game and hit the closeout shot so this thing couldn't haunt him and come back and get him. But it will. It will super do that. And he's going to get
Hasn't happened so far in the playoffs
it's
because
cool.
they catch a team choking.
Mm-mm.
20-point deficit, 20-point deficit. They keep doing this over and over again. You can't keep the Pacers down. This is the team of destiny. This is the funnest team in the NBA right now, and I'm on board.
Steve Palmasano of the Albuquerque Duke Store. Can you do me a favor?
Yes.
Can you start printing shirts that say choke on this and then a 4-1? Because
Sure.
that's what this is going to end up being. The Knicks take the next 4 and it's choke on this.
I do believe the Knicks are the better team, but I am on Team Hallie right now. Good for you.
Yeah, I mean, no one thought that he was going to be this good. He was rated the most overrated by NBA players, and I guarantee there were some players on that Knicks team that also voted.
Who
Also,
are they?
I think he should just do it every game, every shot he makes. He should just do it.
A degree of it,
Yeah.
like a little bit of
Just
choking.
like one hand.
Yeah.
That's a
Start
2-point. If
packing,
it's a
talking a little
layup,
bit.
just do a finger on it. Like,
Hey,
2 fingers.
Actually, because this show is 2 men on, and I can't do anything in my life without Van Nunley. I say the next time he hits a big shot, he gets his version of Van Nunley. Come up, give him the Heimlich.
That would
Sweet.
be awesome.
Give me front row seats. Hot. You hit
I
another
haven't seen
game,
any
Rimmer,
of
you
this
could come
stuff.
Heimlich me.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't seen any of this outrage about the gesture. I haven't.
It's not in your algorithm.
Yeah.
Well, I'm on Google right now. Not my Google account, but the masses.
The only thing that pops
Google.
up on your phone is LeBron flops.
I think everyone.
And
I think
Jim
for the
Mills.
most part, I think majority of the NBA world is very, very, very. They're giving the nod to this. I mean, it's perfect. Everything about it was perfect. All I need to see is the little slow motion video with that song over. What's that song from? You guys know what I'm talking about. The super dramatic song that you put over dramatic moments.
No,
game winner.
My Heart Will Go On by
Yeah.
Celine Dion.
The Titanic.
Yeah, that song. Yep.
Whatever the lyrics are. I got pretty close.
It sounded exactly like the song.
Thank you, Steve.
I'm not doing a gesture where I hold my mouth open like that and I'm choking myself with the way that still images are in 4K now or whatever, and the way the internet can abuse that stuff. There's no way I'm going to put myself, if I'm Tyrese
It's too
Halliburton,
late.
in a position to be memed.
It's too late.
Friend of the show, Robert, on the phone.
He's going to do it every shot. He should do it every shot.
Or some version, like maybe do the thumb right in front of the diaphragm, the self Heimlich maneuver. Do one of those.
Oh, that's the one.
Uh huh. Or you start planning it. If he gets to do it again, you have to up the ante. Now you got to have a team celebration involved where somebody's right behind you, giving you the Heimlich right when the buzzer sounds.
You got to do the
Steph
one.
always does what's up, Fred?
I was going to say you got to do the one where I pretend to throw like a food into your mouth.
Oh,
Van.
I'm catching a grape.
Yeah, you're catching a grape
And
that I'm tossing. Yeah,
and then boop, boop, boop.
that's what you got to do.
Heimlich. Yeah.
You know, Steph does the night, but now all of his the bench does it now. So they'll do it before he does it. So now maybe the whole bench can hit the choke sign and he just can act cool. Like, yeah, don't worry, my crew's got it for me.
Well, you can't choke in the first quarter. So you got to wait till the very end for them to
yeah.
actually choke. You can't pre-choke.
No.
Okay.
Yeah, fourth quarter.
Hold up. We screwed up. We super screwed up.
Go on.
We were talking about doing the Heimlich. It's the exact opposite. Someone comes up behind him like Chuck Norris in an 80s movie. Puts him in a chokehold.
Delta force him.
Delta force him,
Yeah.
Steve. And the chokehold, what does it look like? When Larry Johnson would put his fist into his elbow. You make the
L hold.
Robert wants to get in on the basketball topic.
All right. I guess Van and I and Steve will take the rest of the segment off. Welcome to the program, friend of the show, Robert. How are you?
Hey, I'm doing good. Here, I just wanted to mention the NBA rule number 10, which states that you cannot palm or carry the ball. I think they ought to do away with that rule because they're not calling that anymore. It used to be maybe 20 years ago they would call that. But if you look at Jalen Brunson, he carries the ball. He'll take 2 or 3 steps carrying the ball, and he's not the only one. So anyway, my point is I think they ought to do away with that rule. And also, you're right about the NBA players of today. They don't the older players are 20 years ago don't compare to the players that we are witnessing nowadays. I think Magic Johnson was probably the first player that was able to play guard in the number 5 or center position. And then, that was very rare. But now you see these guys handling the ball at 6'8", 6'9". And that's why I say Donovan Dent doesn't really have a chance in today's NBA because he can't hit from the outside and he couldn't take the ball to the hoop against these big guys. But anyway, that was my thoughts. You'll see these guys carrying the ball. It's not uncommon. It's pretty standard. Hey, have a great day.
Good call, Robert.
Thanks, Robert. I think Halliburton looked like he traveled right before that shot, too.
Oh, gosh.
He got fouled, though.
All over.
He did.
Yeah.
Bridges grabs his arm. If the ref would have called the travel and not the foul, Indiana would be there'd be riots in Indiana at the moment.
The
second time.
There's no rule in the NBA rule book or the collegiate rule book that says how many steps you can take while dribbling. If you're dribbling the ball, you could do fast little feet like you're in a little NFL drill or whatever. You're perfectly fine.
Mm.
You could do high knees. You could do the world's slowest but
you have to be dribbling.
You have to be dribbling.
Palm the ball.
Yeah.
Or like
yeah, you
Robert
can't
just
like
said,
carry. It's
carry
that turnover, which does happen a lot because guys when they go for the crossover, they'll turn their wrist over. Refs will call it sometimes. If it's real bad, they'll call it.
They don't care that they don't call that anymore.
Plant foot, pivot foot, these are different things.
They don't call those either.
Once you come off, if it doesn't come back down, you didn't travel. It's that easy. I don't care where the ball was.
Basketball, the travel that gets called the most.
Step.
The really confusing travel is the one that guys always get right after a jab step, and then they go to dribble, and like they'll try to it's right before they try to blow by a guy. They'll jab step real fast and then take off and dribble, and the ref will just call a travel right there, right away.
Well, because how you move your pivot foot.
I think this goes back a little bit to what Robert just said. The players in the NBA right now are just too talented. They're too big. They're too fast. They're too athletic. The refs can't keep up with what they're doing, more or less get the right call every time.
Mm-hmm. Also, I think
thought he meant
although
that
it's a fact, we have to credit evolution. Like evolution of the basketball game. Like evolution of of basketball, of everything. Like that's why, like if Magic didn't go play center, mostly because he had to, like if that center for the Lakers never gets injured or whatever happened to the center, why he had to play it, I don't know if it's like a super common thing. I think it's because it can be done. You've seen it happen. So then it's like, oh, well, Magic did it. You guys should
also,
be able to do
you
it.
Say that center. Please say Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, like moving forward. And
I didn't know.
Yeah, no, he did the ankle. It was a whole ordeal. Also,
Kareem, yeah,
and it was one game. It's not like, hey, you
know what you can do
for
a career.
Yeah, you could spread them out for one game.
That was a big game. He beat this. It was a series game. They beat the Celtics.
76ers. But yeah,
76ers.
Yeah. And because that was when Paul Westhead was there. This is like a super. Am I the only person that knows sports on this whole show? Am I the idiot of the show? Am I the only one?
I'm with you.
Are we talking about sports?
Zay, write this down. First time in the history of the program, we're talking sports.
Also, this is 80. Like Magic had been in the league almost one season. Like he was a rookie. He was just going to do whatever he was told to do.
Literally 1980. He had 42 boards, 15 rebounds.
No, 42 points.
42.
Yeah, 42 points, 15 rebounds, 7 assists.
And
that's why they call it Magic.
I bet defenses are like, okay, so how in the world do we have a center guard or point guard? I bet that's the first time teams had to deal with that.
Well, it's definitely not the first time, but it's definitely difficult, especially if it's, and hear me out, Magic Johnson. Like we're not talking about, this is the dude that was NCAA Player of the Year or whatever, over who? Larry Bird.
Yeah.
Like, that's pretty good.
Yeah, Magic could play.
He could play. And then he did what I would have done, which is chose a life of drugs and sex and alcohol, and then ruined his professional career. Psych went on to beat a disease that's killed millions and millions of people and now owns the most valuable sports franchise in baseball.
See, Zay, I told you it could be done.
Could be done.
Yeah, there's no Magic or Wilt. Imagine what these guys would be doing nowadays.
Well, hold up.
Somebody had to be the poster guy.
None of this would have happened if you never played center and got 42 points and 15 rebounds.
42 boards.
42 boards, 15 assists.
In Game 6 of the
points.
1980s NBA championship
There's
against the
no
76ers.
You need your
I
Magic
thought it was
or Wilt.
was it against the Celtics?
76ers, brother.
Come on.
He did it to them, too.
He did it to the Celtics.
Yeah, he did it to them as well. Not that specific
Got them
game we're
too.
talking about.
Oh, shoot, we got to go to break. This show's so funny, I forget to stop it. It's 2 Men On, 95.9 FM and AM 610, live from the Duke Store with Steve Palmisano. Also Vans here, the sports animal. Live from the Duke store. Somber note. The Indianapolis Colts announced the death of their owner, Jim Irsay, yesterday. We were not on the program. This is a wild story. Jim Irsay lived that life.
Oh, he got every minute of his 65 years.
Yeah. And it is sad. 65, I thought it was 69.
I thought it was 65.
65.
65. And it's sad no matter how you look at it. And there were always constant reports of dating, back decades, but recently, as of December of last year, of very poor health. There were stories that he at least claimed to debunk that were not factual about him being resuscitated. Not a cause of death, at least across my algorithm to this point. But I will say this. It is sad when anyone is lost, and the time will come when we tell Jim Irsay stories, and they are of lighthearted nature because that is a dude who would want to be celebrated that way from my perception of him. But a sad day for he and his family, the Colts. Demons are wild. And I'm not saying that's it, but
yeah, well, we're not sure of the cause of death, but probably related to a lifestyle that he lived for so long.
Well, and you know what? That's the talking point, right? It's like they don't make them like Jim Irsay anymore.
Mm-mm. He's cut from the Al Davis cloth. Contrarian, went against the grain, stood up to the commissioners in the league, made some great decisions for the league.
Stood up to Dan Snyder. He's the whole reason Dan Snyder had to sell the Redskins.
Yeah.
Because whenever they went to all that vote, they had to add one dissenting vote. He was the one.
For all of his tomfoolery, lived kind of a legendary life as far as his place in NFL history.
We could be having a very, if you're listening to the Pit right now, well, there's no talking head on the Pit, but if you're listening to rock and roll talk radio right now, and you're not listening to us, they're having a conversation about his mobile music Hall of Fame. They're having a conversation about his collection. They're having a conversation about that part of his life too.
And a oil billionaire Emirati offered him $1 billion for his collection. $1 billion even.
Did not take it.
And he didn't take it. He's like, this is my stuff. You can't have my stuff.
He's got the wildest stuff in there, Steve. I don't know if you're up to speed at all with this collection.
I'm not.
When we get back from the break, we go through Jim Irsay's rock and roll collection. It's Two Men On, 95.9 FM and AM 610. The Sports Animal. Welcome back to Two Men On, where during the break I took off my blood donation stretchy tape. What is this called?
A band.
Yeah, you said it.
Yeah,
Blood donation stretchy tape. That's the official term.
because I donated blood earlier for Vitalent over at Rio Bravo Brewery, friend of the show. So I donated blood, and then we were talking about
So you didn't invite me to that?
we did on the show. We had Drew Sharpless on the show this week.
I didn't know you were doing it.
If you would like to go right now,
I just didn't know if I dropped the ball on that one or if you did.
so I didn't drop the ball.
I don't know.
Okay, got it.
All right.
A man named Sharpless, born for this gig.
Yes,
Born to take blood.
I made him hold my hand when I was getting poked
Yeah.
because I'm soft.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. That's why we could tell from your choking stance on the Halliburton stuff.
Right.
Very soft.
The collection.
Did you give Drew the little middle of the palm finger tickle like you always do because you're the way you are?
I don't always do that. That's a special thing. And I don't.
About today, you did it today, didn't you?
Jim Irsay's collection features over 200 guitars, formerly owned by famous musicians like, are you ready for this? Jimi Hendrix, Pete Townsend, Prince, Lou Reed, Eddie Van Halen, Johnny Cash, Les Paul, U2, The Edge, the Steely Dan, Neil Schon of it just goes on, boys.
You almost named everyone.
Like all of them. It goes on. He's got obviously acclaimed the Beatles were his favorite thing of all time. He has Ringo Starr's drum set from their appearance on help me out, man. What's the name of that talk show? Lawrence Welk.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Ed Sullivan.
Ed Sullivan, thank you. Like he's got everything. Like it's wild to me. He's got a ton of original writings and from Bob Dylan. Like his Eric Clapton collection is the largest of all time.
He has the Declaration of Independence. Hey, now that he's gone, you think Nicolas Cage is coming after him?
You think that's the real one?
It's from 1823.
He owns Kurt Cobain's 1969 nice Fender Mustang. What?
That's wild.
That's awesome.
If it's from 1823, I don't know if it's the real one.
Yeah.
It's a good note, Isaiah.
Yeah.
He has Muhammad
1776 might be
Ali's
the first
boots worn from the Thrilla in Manila.
He's got the handwritten letter from George Washington to Thomas Jefferson recommending a U.S. Constitution.
He's got the original tooth that was put in George Washington's mouth.
Abraham Lincoln is represented in
wild.
the collection with letters, a presentation cane that he used to have, and a pocket knife that he was given while attending the 1864 Great Central Fair in Philadelphia. What?
He's got the actual rib from the very first dinosaur that was ever found as a fossil.
He has the curtain. He has 2 tickets from April 14th, 1865 performance of Our American Cousin at Ford's Theater. Do you know what happened that night at that show?
Uh-huh. He's got Muhammad Ali's first weigh-in robe.
Yeah.
When
He's got
the
the
first
gun that-
match where he went from Cassius Clay to Muhammad Ali.
The first
He's got the gun that John Wilkes Booth used. That's actually a fact.
Steve?
the first Sports Illustrated magazine, first edition.
He has the Wilson volleyball from Castaway. He has the golden ticket from Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory. We're not making this up.
Yeah.
Al Pacino's shooting script used during the production of Scarface.
Yeah. Oh, it's crazy.
I was making mine up just for those listening.
Oh, gosh.
None of mine were real.
Irsay also owns Sylvester Stallone's early script notebook for the film Rocky. Okay. Live that life. Handful of people I've ever been jealous of.
You can see it. Oh, this is
Oh, it says here he's got Edgar Allan Poe's first pen.
It's hot.
Okay, now is that one real?
No.
You had me on that one. That one sounded very real, say. Incredibly convincing.
John F. Kennedy's rocking chair?
How much? Where does it say how much it's worth?
I don't know. You can't.
Quite a bit of this is priceless.
Tune in on 95.9 FM and AM 610, the Sports Animal.
95.9 FM and AM 610, the sports animal.
Payoff, line drive, base hit, right center field. That one's going into the gap. That scores Garcia.
That's one.
Hache ran into a teammate. Hache ran into a teammate around third base.
Played the Benny Hill music.
Is that obstruction? He ran into a teammate who was out on the field to celebrate.
Can't do that.
Andy Ruling is out. He is out because he ran into a teammate. The game is not over, but now trying to score from third is the runner from first, Weber, but it should be a dead ball, or is it? No, they say it's not a dead ball, and now 2 runs have scored.
This is incredible.
And now the ball game is over. I do not believe what I have just witnessed.
That is not today's game. That is last night's
Pedro
game.
Lopez getting the ruling from the umpiring crew. Apparently is not a dead ball when you run into your teammates. And so Andy Weber, who had stopped at third, sprinted home. The Aces are celebrating behind second base. Again, Garcia scored. Alexander ran into his teammate who had come off the dugout at third base. So he was out on obstruction, but apparently it's not a dead ball. And so Weber, who had gone first to third, then scores. The umpires are walking off the field. It is a victory for Reno. The final score is 5-4, and I cannot comprehend what I just witnessed.
There's a pretty good little call by Josh Sushan there.
He's so good.
Yeah. The just for clarification, in Major League Baseball, that's the MLB, Steve Palmisano, the Albuquerque Dukes.
Heard of it.
A dead ball occurs when play is suspended, meaning no further play can be made until the umpire restarts the game. It's essentially a pause in action where no player can be put out, no bases can be run, and no runs can be scored except for certain exceptions. So if no umpire signaled suspension of play, dead ball, it's
So
not a dead ball.
What Josh told me right after this game ended, this last one ended,
yes,
he told me that he did not realize this, but I guess one of the outfielders for the Isotopes,
Sam Hilliard,
thought the game was over, so he threw the ball into the crowd, which is what then ended the game. So he thought the game was over, and now it's a final out. So he throws the ball into the crowd, and then I don't know enough baseball to know what transpired after that. But he scored the ball into the crowd thinking the game is over.
If he had not thrown the ball into the crowd, it would have been out, would have been a dead ball, would have put the runner back on second, continued play, had a chance to go into extras, but the runner gets to advance 2 bases
because
when you toss the ball into play, out of play. What a wild finish. Wild.
Is that on
Josh
video
had a
somewhere?
crazy week.
It is on video, yes.
Yes, it's on his Facebook page.
Okay, I mean, we're not giving out Josh's Facebook, but if you go to milb.tv, you can see it there.
Yeah.
Oh.
Did another Sush call make it
some more followers
to r/baseball?
Well, it made America's Top Soundbites today.
Ooh.
Yeah.
The best throw a ball out of play I've ever seen is Trevor Bauer when he played for the Cleveland Indians. Do you remember this?
That was so sweet.
He went and tried to get it back from the person.
Was it Terry Francona? Is that who it was? Came out there because they were trying to pull him from the game. He just launched the thing from the pitcher's mound over dead center field.
Yeah,
Oh God,
that one. Yeah.
There's no way to really ever transition into what I'm about to say in radio. There's never a talking point or a segment. I am the biggest Trevor Bauer mark of all time. And I know he had the weird stuff about him that all got dismissed and the girl was crazy or whatever. But Trevor Bauer to me seems like a dude that would make you a better dude.
Well, he's the personality that MLB needs.
He's stuck in Japan. No one will sign him.
Mexico, Japan, Korea. He's pitching in all of them.
Mm-hmm.
Did you see his meme or that he put up about when Pete Rose got reinstated?
No.
He's like, so does that mean everybody who's ever been kicked out of baseball is now allowed back in or something like that?
Guy's awesome. Yeah, I do see that here. He sued that girl, the Lindsay Hill. He sued her for like all that weird stuff.
Mhm.
And I mean, she's got like a pretty good legal team, I guess, which I mean, imagine how she pays for that. But
Yeah, they get a cut.
yeah,
Duh.
that's true, yeah. Yeah, but he's been the most relentless and like going after how crazy that guy was.
Should put it out there.
Also, good little 2-minute on call back. Dak Prescott also did the same thing to his accuser, sued her and her attorneys.
Did he win?
You see,
It was settlement. They had a settlement. This one, he said, what would he say? Did that girl ask him for 300 grand? Is that what it was? So she was like, give me 300 grand. And he's like, no.
No.
Like,
A settlement is an admission of guilt.
miss me. You watch, this is going to be the stupidest thing. If you see Trevor Bauer highlights like in Japan or the KBO or whatever, he still does like the big sword sheathing. Like he's got all the stuff. And if you remember, Steve, he had a thing where he was doing 1-year contracts only.
Yeah.
You guys are like,
Mm-hmm.
he's like, no, I'm just, give me as much money as you can 1 year. I'll just go do it. I'll get it again.
Do it again next year.
Oh, dude was sweet, dude.
yes, Dak won.
What's stack one?
Yeah, Dak won. Sorry,
Oh.
I did say that. Stack won too. Stack won victory.
Dak won.
Yes.
Is that a play?
Dak won.
That's
Accuser
the
0.
Oh, nice.
that's the Star Wars ship that the Mandalorian drove. The Dak 1
Anchor.
That'd be a dope name.
flew.
Anchor.
He didn't drive it.
What's the name of that spinoff that's popular?
The Mandalorian?
No, the other one. Anchor.
Andor.
Andor.
Highly recommend.
Yeah.
Love it.
Season
I like
2
it
is
so
the
much,
worst
I don't
thing I've
know the
ever
name
seen.
of it.
Don't listen to Fred's recommendation on
It is
anything ever.
so boring.
I don't see Fred as a big Star Wars fan.
Mission Impossible came out today. I'm gonna go see that.
Well, whatever Fred is a fan of, he's a big fan of it.
Right.
Because of his
Big fan.
size.
I can
6'6".
lose so much blood. 260. I'm 6'6", 260.
That's what I heard.
You know how much blood I can lose?
A lot.
More
Van
than
looked
me.
it up.
40%.
Of how much?
That's the question.
That's the question.
So I gave blood
I
today.
think it's
Well,
proportional.
40% of all of it, I think.
I think it's proportional to your own body. So
Yeah.
every person can lose 40% of whatever blood they have.
That cannot be accurate.
Also, we all know Fred has a big heart.
Well,
It's a medical
That's-
condition. It's very scary.
that's what he said.
Yeah.
No, guys, I don't have a medically conditioned heart that is big. I have a big heart because I donated blood today.
From your big heart.
If you want to donate blood, you can go hang out with Vitalant over at Rio Bravo Brewery, friend of the show,
Should.
and they'll do that. Now, also, I don't know how much blood I have by volume. Volume, the liquid measurement, not the sound measurement. Also, I don't know what size has to do it because I feel like if you weigh more, you in theory would have more blood because that is making you weigh more.
Or you have less blood because of all the extra weight squishing your little veins from the pressure.
All right. So according to medscape.com, which I guess is a reliable source, I have 2.39 gallons of blood in my body.
It should go off size because doesn't every person that has like a certain percentage or it's like your body's made up of this much blood. So if you just apply that percentage and then throw that on the size,
How many liters are in a gallon?
I'm just going to say 4 just to throw a guess out there. I'm sure that's wrong. Liters and a gallons too.
So I think it's 4. It's like 375, right? It's like 3.5, 3 3/4.
Mm-hmm.
So let's say 4 to just keep the math easy because I don't mind overflowing a little bit. Okay.
Approximate blood volume of a 260-pound person,
That's me.
8.84 liters.
I just said that because that's 2 gallons, which is 4 liters in a gallon.
I had to double check you.
I wouldn't make these numbers up.
Yes, you would.
All right. So what's 40% of what did you say?
8.84.
All right. So no, stop doing that. Just say 9. I'm not doing what you're doing. I'm not doing math. I'm doing like connectivity here. So what is
You can lose 3.54 gallons. Anything more than that,
well,
Dead
3.54
Fred.
makes it seem like that's more than 1 gallon because that'd be 3 gallons. So that doesn't make sense. So you mean liters?
yes. I do.
He said
Because that
So,
was the baseline number that the
gallons,
interwebs told me.
liters.
1 gallon is like 4 liters.
Is
So
it?
if I have 2 gallons,
I'll convert that as well.
that's what I'm saying. So if you have, okay, if I have 9,049 milliliters,
It says here
okay,
the total blood volume in the human body for an average adult is approximately 5 liters, which is 1.3 gallons.
I'm not average.
Okay, 2.4 gallons is 8.84 liters.
Yes. So what is 40% of that?
Hold on.
Liters or only talk to me in gallons. I'm in America.
0.96 of a gallon. You could almost lose a gallon
That's what I'm saying.
and live.
No, first of all,
0.97 of a gallon, goner.
no, I
You're
can lose.
Dunsky.
I could come off a gallon of blood and be fine.
Not says the internet. That would be over 40%, and you'd be very dead.
I wouldn't, risk it. Just
Also, scientific method, we're not going to know until we try it. So, anybody got to
we could do it after the show.
pour out some milk?
Yeah.
Fill it with Fred's blood, see how far it can get?
Now, where did you get this 40% number?
You'll never guess. The internet.
All right, there you go. So how much blood did I give today if I gave 2 units? How much is a unit of blood? Is that a liter?
Vitalance Drew Sharpless, are you listening right now?
A
Call in
unit?
the program,
Who says a
505-246-0610.
That's what they said.
They
call
said
it,
you gave 2 units,
yeah,
like vials.
like hangy baggy boys. You know what I'm talking about? Like in MASH when they would come in. All right, so a unit of blood is approximately 450 milliliters. So I gave 2 because I'm no negative, the best blood in the whole world. That's why I'm special.
Oh my god!
So Van, do more math. So 450.
600 milliliters.
That's a unit. Yeah.
2 units. 2 units is 600 milliliters.
According to this, it's more than that because if 1 is 450, then there would be 900 milliliters.
Lying to you.
Who's they?
Them right there in front of you.
No. Here's what I did. I helped like 20 people today.
That's incredible.
I know. And if you want to, go down to Rio Bravo Brewery, donate some blood. It's 2 Men On 95.9 FM and AM 610. The Sports Animal. We're doing radio till 7 o'clock tonight, which means 30 minutes before that, you can start watching basketball if you're tired of us. Knicks versus Pacers.
Is that tonight?
I think it's Wolves. Thunder.
It would be Wolves Thunder
I'm
this
sorry,
eve.
boys. Yes, Wolves Thunders.
Too much Halliburton on the brain.
Yep.
You choke that intro right there.
Hi-oh.
Choked it. Gave it. Must be the lack of blood.
See,
I'll go right back to Rio Bravo Brewery and have a drink.
what did you ask Drew when you can donate again?
16 weeks. It's every
16
So
weeks?
that'd be September 11th.
Oh,
You can donate blood up to 6 times a year.
I donate a lot.
That's because you have the most
Thank you.
important blood.
Yeah, thank you for saying that. Oklahoma City will win tonight.
they will. Yes, they will.
SGA MVP.
Is that a fact yet?
Yeah, he won yesterday.
Right.
Won
Congratulations
MVP.
to him.
I saw his. I didn't get to see his speech yet, but I saw in the KKOB studio looking through here to the Sports Animal computer. He was crying.
About what? Foul calls?
Could be.
How much he loves his wife and family.
Dang, dude, same.
Yeah,
Man, it's like a spike.
got him going.
I love his wife and family.
You do?
Yeah.
Yeah, they seem nice.
They allowed him to be the MVP.
Well, I think voting fatigue allowed him to be the MVP because the only statistical category he beat Nikola Jokic on was points per game
And playoff.
and playoff wins.
And head-to-head.
He's going to be the MVP of the league or the series.
Great question.
That would be the league, the National Basketball Association.
But he will be Finals MVP here in a few weeks.
Dang, over the Knicks.
SGA.
I tend to agree.
Yeah, he will be the Finals MVP. And then all the disrespectful arguments will start when they'll start putting him over people who he has no business being put over.
Like Jason Tatum.
They might be tied if he wins.
Not in
Yeah.
finals MVPs.
yeah, true.
His
They would
only
be tied.
his big problem. Because if he'd have stayed with the Clippers, did he get traded for Kawhi? He was part of that
He got-
Kawhi stuff.
Yep.
If he'd have stayed there, he'd have been a star. But he's in stupid, boring Oklahoma City.
Yeah. It's hard being the best team in basketball, being the MVP. Never be a star.
It's like Durant.
What city what city or state in this country do you think is the closest to what he dealt with in Canada?
What did he deal with in Canada?
Well, it's just different, I'm sure. I don't know too much.
Is that
about
where he's
Canada.
from?
But I don't. Yeah.
Is
he's
he from
Canadian.
Canada or Toronto?
Did he go to,
Well,
where did he play college? Did he play college?
are we from Albuquerque or New Mexico?
No, it's different. Toronto is not Canada.
No.
Toronto's regular.
It's nicer Detroit.
Yeah. Toronto is like, well, low-key, it's just kind of where all Canadians are from.
He was born in Toronto.
Yeah, I mean, he's not.
Yeah.
Grew up in Hamilton, though. Grew up in Hamilton.
That's like right outside Toronto. That's what I'm saying. He don't know about Canada.
If you listen to his interview, that's a Canadian.
Yeah.
I listened
When
to
he
his
wins a
interview and actually-
championship, instead of all of Jason Tatum's stolen cliched celebrations, he'll just go, sorry. I'm so sorry. Why are you pooning?
Played 1 year at Kentucky.
He flops a lot. Is there an award for that?
Well, if there was, Jalen Brunson would have got it last night.
MVP. That's the award you get whenever you flop.
Speaking of an award, hard segue. You see, the NFL is opening. They're like starting an award that I'm very happy about for the O lineman. The best O lineman will now get an award, which I think is dope. 'Cause no one cares about the O lineman, so now the best lineman can get an award. I think that's very, very cool. Forgot the name of it though.
Well, of course.
The
There you
Joe
go.
Thomas
That's
Award.
exactly the Tush Push Award.
Yeah, what is? I don't even know what you would
They
call
should
it.
just have Jason Kelsey, the Joe Moore Award. That's a college offensive line.
Yeah, that's
Maybe it's unnamed as of now.
Yeah, it's just called the Protector of the Year. It's kind of lame.
That is lame.
But
Yeah.
it
Should have
makes
shopped
sense.
that out.
Now, is it a stack
Yeah.
of pancakes? Is it like a brass stack of pancakes?
That'd be cool.
Is it Golden Girth
We
Award?
see. Okay, so that's the joke.
That's what I'm saying. Like, is it like what do you call like the gut check award? Like what do you call it?
Can they also win the MVP of the league?
Oh,
Award?
great question,
Yeah,
Steve.
that's a good question.
Yeah.
Okay, so the word is they haven't made it yet.
They haven't actually physically created one.
I say it should be like a championship belt, like a wide load belt or something, like mud flaps or something, because they're big boys.
Something you'd eat out of,
Like a bowl.
like a giant plate.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think
Now-
the stack of pancakes is actually a very good idea.
I know. I just came up with that. You know what I would also do, like, because we don't talk about linemen a lot, right? But Isaiah just told us they were important.
hmm
So I think if the award was like the silent but deadly award,
Mm.
that'd be pretty good. Steve, thoughts?
Just show somebody
I'm
carrying
just trying
the
to
planet.
figure out what kind of award they would give with that.
Well, it'd probably be a bust of a random looking person with no face.
Yeah,
Yeah.
probably.
Because they're obviously all faceless. No one knows who they are.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
just that it's a football helmet, but it's like on top of a mannequin's head. Silent but deadly. Because they're, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I think so.
Now, hey, do me a favor, Isaiah. Go to
Mhm.
bet.com and look up if there is like a club bouncer of the year award. And then whatever the name of that bouncer award is, we could just use that name because that seems like it would be.
Zay would know.
Yeah, go to bet.com.
Yeah, it's
There has to be. There's an award for everything.
the Zay Johnson Award.
There
It's,
you go.
I don't like that. What if it's a lanyard, like the Lard lanyard or something?
The lard.
Well, they're big boys. I'm just going with alliteration.
Why are you being so offensive to these people? Just because they're
It's not like I'm
big.
doing the choke signal at them. Big like buffet. Is there something there? Do you want to connect those together? Is that what you're trying to?
You are trying to. Pancakes.
Well, I thought that was a good one because that's a name of a football move.
Oh, it is
Yeah.
The
The
trophy
offensive
is
line-
2 seats commercial on an airline.
for offensive linemen.
That's a good
I think
one.
this could be the coolest award, like the best award to win, because I feel like all the other awards you can actually thank your teammates. Like there's somebody else that helped you get it. Like the best receiver, you gotta thank your quarterback. Quarterback wins MVP, he probably had a dominant receiver.
Yeah.
Defensive player of the year, if your defensive coordinator does not like you, you're not going to be in position to make the plays unless you're maybe a pass rusher. But offensive linemen, it's like every play, no matter what, you're either run blocking or pass blocking, and it's all based on how good you do.
So like,
You
you say
think
we-
his parents?
This is the number one of toughness to win. I think this is number one.
so you're saying like a wingman award is what I'm hearing.
Yeah, or it should be like someone carrying, maybe like, those little pictures where the guy's got like the world on his back, something like that, or like
Referring
the
to
team.
Atlas.
Yes, like the team should be like put the team logo on the front of the globe and have it on the guy's back.
I don't like that.
So do you think they're getting a bonus for winning that award?
They're definitely going to go in the contract here. Like, look, or whoever.
You think
it
the
is,
same?
yeah,
So
you better pay me like I'm the best lineman in the NFL.
the MVP of the league, do they get a bonus? Do they get paid for that from the league?
I'm sure
Or-
there's like some guys. There's incentives. Like I bet when
but
Lamar
that's in their
signed his-
contract. But I'm just saying in general,
They should just get paid for like doing the job. Like it's.
they
you're
don't get anything more from anybody.
I mean, what? Like if you wrote in, hey, I get the what are we calling the wingman award, Ben? What'd you say? The Goose Award. So if you go out there and win the Goose, then like you can write that in your contract. I think. You know,
for
but,
NFL, it says contract incentive.
yeah,
yeah,
but what are you
right.
gonna? Yeah, what are you gonna?
I just didn't know if the league gave a monetary award as well as the trophy.
When you win
I think
MVP,
so.
only if it's in your contract. Like,
But
I
also, like when
understand
you
that.
go, if you're a free agent, though, again, like you go into your next deal, you're using that as your leading point.
yeah,
like
if you
I-
win the
No, I understand.
if you win the John Stockton Award or whatever you said for like assisting other people,
Mhm.
like Like that's a good award for me.
A bulldozer. It'll be a bulldozer. Well, actually, it's called the Protector of the Year. Bulldozers don't protect.
Yeah.
Protector of the
A
Year?
shield.
Yeah.
A big shield.
Box of condoms.
Sponsored by
Trojan Man.
That's
Sponsored
perfect.
by USC Trojans.
So you don't think my mud flap idea was good? Because I feel like those protect like commuters.
That's nice. If your quarterback's driving behind you all the time.
Well, he should be, right? Because he's you line up in front of him or whatever. Or what if it's like okay, I think I got it.
Okay.
Because I'm a big Fast and the Furious guy.
Oh, sure. We
Yeah.
all know
So
that.
everyone's aware of that.
Of course.
Oh, that Fred Slow, the
Fred-
Fast and the Furious
yeah.
guy? Yeah, yeah.
All right, what if it's like
Did you like the one where they went to the moon?
Yeah, it was sweet. That was my stuff. The ride or die. Like, is that a protecting kind of thing?
The Vanguard Award.
Ride or take more than 40% of your blood?
The Vanguard is when you're out in front on your own.
Front line.
Yeah, but that's not
Front line.
protecting. That would be like King's Guard.
You're still front line though, but it is called the Protector.
Like,
How about infantry?
again, that's
Yeah.
yeah.
It says or Vanguard. I was just seeing if I could get you.
I mean, blocking just sounds like the word.
Most likely be a van tackle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not
Definitely
a van center.
Not a van center for sure.
No.
Yeah.
Do you think they're going to come up with other awards?
Yes.
I mean, just because.
I don't know what else they could come
Yeah.
up with at
Oh,
this
well,
point. That was like
kicker.
the last one.
What's next?
Is there-
Participation trophies? Is that what we're doing here?
The best kicker. There is a best kicker award.
I
Punter.
think so.
Yeah.
There is.
Yeah, it's
What is it?
Ray
What's
Guy.
that called?
Ray Guy.
The Ray Guy Award.
Like,
Oh,
all right, now hear me out. Like,
best kicker does not.
Ray Guy or Ray Finkel?
Einhorn is Finkel.
Finkel is Einhorn.
You know, college, it seems like they have college already had the lineman one. College has got a bunch. College has got a lot of different stuff.
Oh,
Like
yeah.
Zach Martin won MVP and he was a guard.
Well, that's
For
how
Notre
you
Dame.
that's how you motivate kids because they're so soft. You have to give them all trophies.
Yeah, they all get one.
Everyone knows
Every
that.
position has an award.
Now, Van, you've been for a lot of years petitioning Major League Baseball to do a Vibe Award, like
Mhm.
the guy who most vibes the team.
Not that Trevor Bauer's gone.
Yeah, that's a good point. Like, what would you call it? Like the Aux Award? Like, what would you call that?
The Manny Ramirez Award.
Yeah, good one. I was going to say Ricky Henderson, but Manny Ramirez might be the answer.
Yeah, and it's just like a wax record or something, just like something cool.
Changes every year.
Skirt.
One year it's a gold chain. Next year it's a boombox.
Yeah.
Hmm.
How do you feel
Should
about
be
this,
the,
dude?
enforcer in the NBA.
I don't.
You're on to
Draymond.
something there, Zay.
Draymond and Isaiah Stewart going toe for toe every year.
Now, what if on this Vibe Award, like you have one guy win it, and then you have like a runner-up, so you have like somebody on the ones and the twos.
That'll work. Or maybe that's how you give out the award.
Yeah, and then they have to square off like Eminem and Captain America.
Mm-hmm. And Clarence's parents had a real good marriage.
Steve.
Doc.
I don't. Not participating in this kind.
2 men on 95.9 FM and AM 610, the Sports Animal. I don't know if you guys have been watching this Juan Soto stuff. Have you guys been seeing this?
How
bad he is.
belligerently soft he is. How he can't handle New York City.
Refusing to swing the bat?
Well, that's his thing. He got highest on-base percentage in the league every year. I thought you were talking about how his team hates him, front office hates him, the fans are growing cold on him. He won't do interviews, refused to be mic'd up.
Well, he got accused of dogging it to first, and the thing you're talking about going to, not being mic'd up, and now he's protesting against, like, swinging the bat against the Red Sox. Literally just leaves it on his shoulder. He did it multiple times yesterday. It's the weirdest thing I've ever seen. And the Red Sox are just piping him down the middle. 6 pitches, 2 strikeouts. Stood there. And stuff that normally, and his energy out there. It's a weird one. It is a weird one.
Some people just aren't cut out for New York. And it looks like he's one of them.
I don't know if he's cut out for any of it.
Yeah.
He was pretty swaggy. He was pretty locked in when he was on your Yankees.
Not till the postseason. I mean, he had a good postseason, but he was. He had a good year, but he just is. You can tell.
You know that thing he does where he bites his lip and shows his upper teeth and shakes his head at you and then steps out, and then he's not even really allowed to step out. So that part's kind of confusing in Major League Baseball. And then he adjusts himself in the
and the whole thing where the pitch comes in and then he does the whole lunge towards the pitcher
awesome.
and
it's a lot of fun.
Yeah, have you been to a batting cage recently? Like that's what you go to batter's edge. That's what they do. Kids are like that.
They stare down the batting the machine down there.
It's working. Keeps throwing strikes, doesn't it?
Yeah. Oh. Like mentally, you got to be up there.
If you spurn the Dodgers,
mm-hmm.
the Yankees to sign with the lowly Mets, and you can't handle everything that comes with it, maybe you shouldn't have been there in the first place.
His per at bat salary, like extrapolated over a regular 400 plate appearance season, blah blah blah, $75,000. Every time he steps into the box to take in a bat, $75,000.
It's pretty sweet.
Is that after taxes?
Okay, that's the question you're going to hit me with. You asking me if that's gross, net, or take home?
No.
Is that what you're asking me?
Yes.
I think in New York, it's the same amount of blood Fred can lose, right around 40%.
How much did you say I lost if I gave two units? A fifth of a gallon?
Yes, right under a fifth of a gallon.
20% of a gallon?
Right under.
If I asked you or Steve or any friend of the show right now to drink 20% of a gallon of anything, I wasn't going to say blood, but like water or milks, or what else comes in a gallon? Orange juice?
Mm-hmm.
What else comes in a gallon? Tea? Well, I guess technically anything liquid could be a gallon, but I'm talking about traditional, like big gulp gallons.
Like distilled water comes in a gallon.
Or like a fish tank?
Sure.
That's just like a beer, right?
A gallon of beer?
No, a fifth of a gallon is like a beer.
How many fifths are in a gallon?
That's 750 milliliters is a fifth.
Okay, so if there's 5 fifths
Mm-hmm.
to make 1 gallon, that's
Yeah.
750 milliliters times 5.
Mm-hmm.
So that's 14, 28. So that's a lot. I don't think your math's right.
I'm not going to drink the whole thing. Let's compromise.
All right.
I'll drink 3/5 of a gallon.
You're talking about the 3/5 compromise.
That's what we're doing right now.
Yep.
That's
Okay.
what we're making.
So 3/5 of a
Mhm.
fifth
Yes.
of a gallon
Correct.
is what you call a compromise.
Correct. I'm not going to drink it all on this dare. But we can settle out of court.
Not
I'll
a-
compromise by drinking 3/5 of it.
It's not a dare.
It's a hypothetical situation that's not going to make a ton of sense to the friend of the show if they didn't hear the earlier segment that we were talking about.
I don't even know what we're talking about.
He's been here the whole
I
time.
thought we were talking about Juan Soto.
Yeah, and how the only
That's what we are. This is a metaphor, Steve.
and he was less talented or good as Rafael Devers, who tries really hard.
Devers.
2 men on 95.9 FM and AM 610, the sports animal. Albuquerque Duke Store. Hanging out with Steve Palmisano here till 7. Basketball tonight. Mission Impossible tonight.
Ooh.
You going to the midnight showing?
No, they don't do that anymore. Really. They start at like noon or whatever.
No.
That's my stuff is Mission Impossible. I'm super into that.
They've made like 11 of them.
It's 8. There's number 8.
It's 8? I was very close.
It's a lot.
Got to change the name to Mission Plausible. It's not impossible. They keep succeeding every time. At the very least, it's plausible. I think it's probable that they're going to complete the mission every time.
Do they? Fred?
You know, it's like chapters in a story, okay? So it's not like it ever
The impossible mission has yet to happen, is what you're saying. They're leading up to the final mission, which that one's going to finally be impossible.
I think it's Mission Impossible that Tom Cruise makes it to his stated, I'm going to make movies when I'm 100. That's his Mission Impossible.
He's ageless.
That's what he said. He's going to be making movies when he's in his hundreds.
That's sweet.
So you have more
like Hollywood
movies to look forward to.
If he were to transition into a
what?
Not in this political climate.
Into like a like the director of the IMF as opposed to like their head agent or sometimes rogue agent or sometimes dismissed agent or sometimes sleeper agent.
You're going inside baseball with Mission Impossible. Is that some lingo that we're supposed to know?
The International Monetary Fund? Is that what that is?
No, it's Impossible Mission Force. Everyone knows that. That's what the IMF stands for.
Oh, really?
Huh.
It's very famous.
Okay. I'll take your word for it.
When did that start?
They're the most successful movies on the planet.
Who's they?
The Mission Impossible movies.
I don't know if there's data to back that up. We'll never know.
And Tom Cruise could bring in like a young and up and coming actor to like take over as like the lead. It could be like a hand, like a passing of the way the Undertaker gave it to John Cena.
Who's the second most famous Scientologist?
Donna from that 70s show.
She'd be great.
Yeah. Leah Remini.
That's who I was thinking.
Yeah.
I was going to say somebody else.
Hand that baton over to a white woman.
She's not.
I don't know.
She's not white.
A little mixy. That's cool. Progressive. I like it.
I don't know.
Why'd you use that word?
What?
Like Latinx.
There you go.
Latinx.
That sounds correct.
That's what white people say.
Okay.
No
That's
one
what's, yeah.
No one says that.
The Latins don't.
Little mixy gal? Is that not okay?
That's, it's not a puppy.
I don't know.
A blend? Is blend okay?
A blend of what?
Ethnicities? Nationalities? Religions now that she's out. Yeah.
You want to keep going or?
Yeah. Do this all day.
Big basketball game tonight. Oklahoma City is playing basketball. They're going to play against the Minnesota Timberwolves. It's going to like if you're playing Prize Picks, and I'm not the guy that ever tells you to like look for success after watching game one. Neither of these teams want to play defense. Like it is a smash the more kind of night in the NBA. These two teams are going to go back and forth. Oklahoma City is just going to outscore them. And you're like, Fred, by how much does not matter? Because every time that Minnesota touches it, that means Oklahoma City is going to get to touch it, and they will score that many more times. If you're like, well, Fred, what if it's 80-60? That's because Minnesota slowed it down. Fred, what if it's 120, 110? Well, that's because Minnesota thought they could catch up.
I smashed more on a lot of goblins tonight.
Yeah.
I got a bunch of goblin lineups.
Are you doing bad at Prize Picks? That's why you're saying that?
No. That's just my method. I like it.
Promo code KNML will get you a $50 lineup on your first $5 lineup. Put in promo code KNML.
You gotta be careful though, because some of those mores, when the game's like a blowout, they sit the starters early. Or like, say what could happen is, what if the whole Thunder team's on and Shea only has to score 22, but Chet's got 18, Jalen Williams has got 18.
You should hit the more on those guys then.
Yeah.
Especially when you're on a first name basis with them.
I hit the more on Goblins of Oklahoma City's bench.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
Were they real low?
Yeah.
That's sweet.
Is there more for how many choke signs are in the other series?
I'll look that up.
They should do that.
Already hit the more.
If it was 0.5, but if it's
Mash it.
1.5, they
Ooh, there's no way.
we don't know. We're not Vegas. Or
Not with that attitude.
that weird
Yeah, I mean,
insurance. What part?
all of it.
Got it. Basketball starts in 30 minutes. I think the NBA is being watched now more than it's been watched recently.
Can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
Does Zay hit that music, or do you somehow?
It's on there's a timer situation, but Zay does have the authority.
Automatically just comes on.
He
that
Kind
one
of.
is manual.
kind of, yeah.
Bottom of the hour, yeah.
Yeah, there has been some times when I look at the clock and it's 58, and I realize it's supposed to be on at 54.
Oh, so it's a technical radio thing. So
Kind of.
I didn't know if it was a vibe thing.
Well, so no matter what, here's
Yeah.
Super Inside Radio.
Right.
Whatever time of the day, starting after 12 a.m., that you do your station identification, which is KNML, you then have, and you can do 2 identifying cities. So you can be, hey, so number 1 is wherever your tower is. So that's Albuquerque. And then you can pick an adjacent city, Rio Rancho or Los Lunas, whatever. So it's KML, the 2 cities. But at whatever time you do it in the opening hour of the broadcast day, you then have to, within reason, do it at that same period every hour all day long. There you go.
Oh, wow.
Now you know.
Interesting.
Most places like us do it at top of the hour because bottom of the hour doesn't really exist.
Okay.
It is what you make it, Steve.
Right. Some
Long
people
story
also
short.
do it at 20 after.
And we're almost batting 1,000.
And the Knicks last night became the first team in 970 attempts to blow a game that late.
Saw that.
2 men on 95.9 FM and AM 610. The Sports Animal.
FM and AM 610, the sports animal.
Like that.
Welcome back. 2 Men On. We're live at the Albuquerque Duke store. We're on till 7 tonight because there's no Lobo baseball today.
That's a bummer.
Season's over.
Or isotopes.
Well, they played earlier.
Season's not over. They lost a tough one last night.
It was a tough one. Every time they went to commercial break, I heard the Dukes commercial 3 times, though, so that was nice.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
Oh, I was talking about the Isotopes. Lost a tough one.
Well, that was a weird one.
Still lost. It's a tough one to lose that way. UNM lost 1-run game, right? Was it 1 run?
Came down to the very end. They had a shot at it. They came back late. They were chasing 3 in the 8th.
3 to 6, right?
Yeah. 7th. It was a good one.
Yep.
We talked earlier about Jim Irsay passing. Taking over the Colts is Carly Irsay Gordon, the daughter of Jim Irsay.
You know, I was
That's
thinking
pretty-
about this.
Go ahead, Zay.
No, I was just saying, what was her name again?
Carly Irsay Gordon.
Okay, so there's her,
Yep, her.
and then you got Jeannie Buss.
Okay.
Are there any more in like positions of that much power female owners?
I don't know what that much power means, but there are lots of
that
female
high up in the
owners.
that high up in the chain of decision making and controlling a team. Because Jeannie obviously she's got a lot of control over the Lakers. That was inherited because Jerry Buss passed. And now you got Jim Irsay's daughter.
Yeah, but there's a lot more. There's way more than you think.
There's
between
a
NBA and
there's a
NFL.
ton
There's
of minority orders.
Yeah.
Not like
My-
majority owning outright like
Yeah.
she does now.
Well, Gail Benson owns the Pelicans and the Saints. So I mean she owns 2. That counts.
Very much so.
The Buffalo Bills are owned by a lady. I don't remember her name. I would have to look it up.
Carol Davis.
Martha Ford owns the Lions. I know that for a fact. Patricia Rooney owns the Steelers because her husband died.
Do they like make decisions? So they make they're like into the decision making.
I mean, I can't imagine anything in a thing you own you're not a part of.
I mean, like roster.
Well,
Like Jeannie makes
know
like
about that.
basketball moves,
Right.
basketball decisions. She's in there like looking at the players. Now having being in the position and the power, I feel like a lot of that might be like finances and like a lot of stuff not involving like on the field. Like
Oh, yeah.
her saying like, no, I don't like that guy. I think
Yeah.
we need to get this guy. Or
Well, I'm not I would have to claim ignorance a little bit in my
right.
radio
Yeah,
seat to
same,
say
yeah,
exactly
I was-
what they do. But I would say, yeah, I can't imagine they have a player on the team that they didn't choose, right? Like, I feel like that's part of their thing. They signed
Well,
the checks.
hard disagree there
Yeah.
because Dee Haslam is one of the owners of the Browns, and I don't think
Good
as
point.
a woman
Yeah, good point.
she would allow Deshaun Watson on the team.
That's a good point.
knocked it out of the park.
Yeah, I don't see
Yeah.
Never know.
octogenarian Janice McNair making a lot of Tennessee Titans decisions.
I
I'm
think
thinking general man. I think the
Assuming.
position I'm thinking of is general manager.
Off the top of my head, I believe it's only Jeannie.
And I'm thinking general manager, obviously, because it took me forever to understand the difference between owner and GM because dealing with Jerry Jones. I was like, oh, that's why it's hard for me to get it because he's both. But like in other positions,
I think baseball has a bunch of them.
okay.
But like outside of that, I don't know a ton. I know there's a lot of like president of operations and stuff. Clea Collier, who I grew up, runs the Spurs. Like that kind of stuff. But
So Jeannie Buss is actually an executive, so she might have a little Jerry Jones action going on there.
I don't know, a bunch of AAA and like independent league and minor league baseball teams all have lady like GMs. And that's like a big movement in sports, but that's different because they don't pick the rosters either. Because when you're the general manager of a minor league team, you don't really have a ton to do with what's going on the field, except
Correct.
like, are the bases the right amount of distance apart?
From what I can
More
find,
so
there's
than-
only 9 female majority owners in sports.
What do you mean only 9? That's a lot.
Well, it's a lot more than 0.
Only
And that's
9?
all of the sports. Talking about all of them.
We're talking about sports.
Are you kind of like weird stuff, like race cars and stuff?
No.
Okay.
All sport.
The big
Major sports.
the big 5 in the United States of Americas.
The Bears, right?
Mm-hmm.
The Steelers.
That's not majority, but yes.
Okay.
The Raiders.
Norma Hunt. So the Chiefs.
Nope.
Mm-mm.
That's not right.
Nope.
Hmm.
Obviously, Jeannie Buss.
Martha Ford. I already said.
Obviously, Gail Miller.
Okay.
But she transferred her majority ownership into trust. So she's the head of the trust.
Oh, okay.
Virginia McCaskey, the
That's
Bears,
right.
you mentioned.
That's for tax reasons.
Martha Ford, Firestone Ford
Yeah.
from the Lions.
Janice McNair of the Texans.
Nope.
See, I don't know, dude.
Yep, not majority owner. She sold some stake.
Okay.
Carol Davis, but has no part of the team, just owner. Denise DeBartolo York from the Niners,
I don't know her.
majority owner, has nothing to do with the team.
Got a sweet quarterback.
Your favorite woman on the planet,
Don't do it. Don't talk about Kroenke right
Ann
now.
Kroenke
I
from the
hate
Denver
Ann
Nuggets and
Kroenke
Colorado
so
Avalanche.
much, dude.
and LA Rams. She didn't have a lot to do with the team, but there's like 6: Amy Strunk, Kim Pagula, Martha Ford, Virginia McCaskey, Gail Miller, and of course Jeannie Buss.
And Dee Haslam.
Brittany Mahomes.
Sold too much stake.
Okay.
Yeah.
Brittany Mahomes is different,
Oh,
Steve.
okay.
She owns Whataburgers.
Okay.
Which is similar because they're franchised and sports have franchises.
Carol Davis owns majority. She's the owner of the Raiders.
Yes. But it has nothing to do with the front office.
Okay, so it's seeing here that you will most likely, at least for as NFL is concerned, they will be scouters. Now, I remember that even just from college. There are some women who will be scouts. Now, do they maybe know, like, okay, go out there and look for this? Yes, because just like the ability to look, okay, you don't have to be an athlete or a football player to be able to look and be like, we want fast guys. Like, we want guys that are, like, all right, we'll go find the fast guys.
Well, I've been checked out a lot by gals, so I get it.
But it says they contribute a lot to player evaluation and development. Now, that's true because it's the same concept as when after a game.
Because they're nurturing.
Yes, they'll send the girls over to ask the coach questions if they know he's probably heated. Like a lot of times, like the girl trainers, they'll also serve as not counselors, but coaches usually like to have some women around the team to be there for you to vent to, for you not to feel like you're in jail, literally at summer camp.
Well, hold on.
Just don't ask them where you want to eat after practice.
Exactly.
The real truth is, it's because a bunch of these football players are mama's boys. That's what it is. They don't understand fellowship. Can't man up and talk to Van like I do about my feelings.
Is that right?
Yeah. But I always talk to Steve Palmisano about my feelings.
And then also, of course, there's some things women can see in a guy that a guy can't see in another guy. So like, no, that player, I think he's liable to do this.
Like, what is one of those things? Like if they're like graying or something?
I bet. I mean, yeah. He might be stressed.
Okay.
He might be stressed out.
Hey,
like behavioral things like the coach may not see.
Oh, are you talking about whenever like Black Widow could talk the Hulk into calming down? Is that what you're saying?
Yes.
Hey, big guy.
Okay.
It's getting pretty late here. Hey, big guy. Is that what you're talking about?
We segued from women's owners to the Marvel Cinematic Universe.
Black Widow would help the Hulk. And the Hulk can't be in a standalone movie because Universal owns the right to the Hulk standalone movies.
Mm-hmm.
Therefore, he can only be an ensemble cast.
Bring back Ed Norton.
Okay, so that's the thing. Because
the NFL has a women's forum. And the NFL has a program called the NFL Women's Forum to help.
Hold on, you're mispronouncing it. It's women's for him.
Oh, it says there's no H here.
Oh, sorry. Okay.
F-O-R-U. I mean, yeah. Sorry if I pronounced that wrong. To help women gain experience and network within the league, potentially leading to future roles in roster decision making. Now, is that like a Rooney Rule thing where they're just covering their tails, or do you think that's legit?
I don't think they call women tail anymore.
Yeah.
Learned something new today, Zay.
Yeah.
It's a new day out here.
Yes, it is.
Steve goes, yeah.
Yeah.
I thought we were on the same side.
You didn't like that one, Steve?
This whole conversation is
say you don't want women in
He's
sports.
scared to get canceled. Yes.
no, I'm not. I'm worried about you.
What did we do? There's no woman running the station. We're fine.
For now.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Steve, also, this is all a joke.
I know.
The truth of the matter is,
What?
Carly Ursay Gordon is expected to assume control of the Indianapolis Colts.
Perfect.
That's it.
Yeah, new female friends of the show who are listening for the first time today.
Welcome.
We're joking. If you're hearing this for the first time,
Yeah.
might be a little incendiary.
Van and I are
If you're
joking.
familiar with the product, these are jokes.
Now, also, I only can vouch for Van and I. I don't know about Steve and Isaac.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I didn't say a word.
We didn't run a background check on you. We don't know.
I did.
You did?
44.
You can't just ask people at Howie's. That's not running
Yeah.
a background check.
Say, hey, is Steve
You, guys,
Palmisano
you know
cool?
Steve?
Tell me about Steve,
Ursay is 44.
the daughter.
The daughter. That's pretty young. I would be surprised if
King is dead.
This is 21 when you
Long live the queen.
not long live the king. I recently lost my father. It would be tough for me to find the focus to take over an NFL franchise immediately after that. I would say give me a buffer season.
I would think that they probably had something in place that says if this happens, then this happens.
Yeah, he said for Bono to run it. I don't think they're going to do that.
Jim Irsay said, I want Bono to run the league, the team.
The
Colts.
team or his collectibles?
Oh, I might have misread it. That's my mistake. Now, in 2014, when Jim Irsay was arrested multiple times, she took over. So
In
she was
2014.
yes. So that's 10 years ago.
Yeah. It's early 30s.
Yeah. It's been closely involved with the franchise's football side for 2 decades. Began her career as the team's football and marketing departments.
You think she's checking out the players like Zay asked?
Yes, that's a good question.
Yes. So I mean, yes. I mean, I did look at what exactly Irsay did, and it says he did not pick the rosters at all, but he like hired the people that made those decisions,
Yeah.
and that's
It's
honestly
generally
kind of
what
what Jeannie.
owners do.
That's generally correct. Yeah.
So with her getting that position, I don't. Yeah, but you know, Steve, I'm a Cowboys fan. They're all I know. So with
Yeah,
Jerry, I
well-
mean, he's meshing the whole position to me. It's like putting a bunch of colors of paint into a cup. So Jerry's thrown off my whole perception of what an owner and a general manager is.
That's
Yeah, there's good
absolutely
ones out there.
correct.
And there's guys that let the position be separate. So I didn't know if Irsay maybe did any of that, but that would be Bill Polian who makes those choices for the Colts. So I'd assume he's going to continue doing that. But daughter Irsay might fire Polian,
Yeah, you never know.
or she has the power to.
Youngest primary owner in the league now. So times they're changing.
You think it's interim?
No, they own it. Like the family owns it.
Well, okay, so yeah, it's sticking.
Yeah, it's
Right.
not like that. I do. What will happen though is a collaboration, an investment. Something will offer her more money than anything ever,
Yeah,
and
49%.
yeah, something of that nature.
He's also got 3 daughters.
Okay.
So I'm sure any girl who has only sisters would agree that usually the dad picks one of them. That's like, all right, you're going to be the closest thing I got to being a sports fan. So maybe this is what we're dealing with here, where she's the one where she understands, like she had the same football mind he had, because she's like, all right, someone's got to.
Well, it says she's attended every owners meeting since 2000. So I mean,
She's locked in. So yeah, she's locked in. They'll be just fine.
That's a long time.
I mean, would she?
I mean, when she was, if she's 40, how old?
44.
She's been going to the meetings since she was
25 years. She's been doing it.
25 years.
Yeah, so since 18. I mean, I'm 40. I've been in radio 23 years.
She's probably pretty well versed on what needs to be done with that team.
I mean, would she, like, if all things were equal, would she have signed Andrew Luck again?
I guess we'll never know unless she
She might
writes a
sign
book.
Andrew Luck tomorrow if she could.
He quit. I think he left.
He left $30 million on the table.
I'm
It's
good.
probably because
His
Jim
brain.
Irsay brought his daughter to the meetings. No, I'm just kidding.
He like rich parents or something. Andrew Luck.
His dad
How
played in the NFL and is in the ownership group of the XFL. Oliver Luck.
That doesn't answer Zay's question.
Yes. Yeah, they were doing okay. It's 2 Men On, 95.9 FM and AM 610. The Sports Animal. Welcome back to Two Men On. We're live at the Duke store, the Albuquerque Duke store. Steve Palmisano is with us. He is the Albuquerque Duke. Steve, welcome.
How's it going, Fred?
I was at AEW Pro Wrestling last night at the Rio Rancho Event Center.
How'd that go?
There was so much Duke's gear.
Was there?
Pro wrestling fans love Duke's gear.
Nice.
I was hanging out with Tony Khan a little bit. We should have got him like a welcome thing. We should have put together like a Duke's.
Oh, that would have been a
package.
good
We weren't
idea.
thinking.
Yeah.
We're idiots.
I didn't know that was going on. Did you tell me, or did I drop?
Is
the
this
ball on
is this like okay? Doing like a all right little throwback there.
Did you at least give him a DCCW shirt?
Did I give the guy that owns AEW Pro Wrestling a T-shirt for my NWA New Mexico company?
Yeah.
No, no, I did not.
Why not?
Well, they're
because that would be a wrestling thing to do.
they're in direct competition with each other.
Oh,
Didn't a couple of your wrestlers wrestle for them?
Yes,
Okay.
big shout out.
There you
to
go. Problem solved.
Manny Lemons
How'd he do?
went over.
Yeah?
Yeah, crowd loved him.
Good.
This tush push thing happened yesterday. There's a whole lot of nothing.
No, that got real interesting. We got some of like they were beefing in there. They were arguing in there.
Now who's they?
The owners, and I guess it was led the Eagles GM talked for like a whole hour.
About how
And I
big
guess at some point the
losers?
Tampa Bay Buccaneers GM was like, "Are you done yapping yet?" That's the radio version of what he said. I guess Jerry asked a couple questions, but the Eagles owner was going at Roger Goodell. He was giving a whole passionate speech. He went on for an hour. He even compared it. He was like, he hit the same point I hit, and that's that the Eagles fans were prepared to be in a win-win position where it's like, oh, we had a play that was so dominant had to be banned. And he said it was like a teenager's wet dream if they were to ban it. And then I guess some women that were in the room got upset. And it was a whole thing.
See?
Mm-hmm.
So you're saying not even the NFL as an entire entity could stop the tush push?
Incredible.
The Eagles are so good.
This is decades of focusing on the pass rush. And then the Eagles decided, we're just going to shove it down your throat right down the middle. And you can't stop it. And then the rest of the league went, wah,
Now,
wah, we're ill-equipped for this play.
is it true that, and I don't know if this is true, I might just be making it up completely. Is it true that the Eagles promoted Jason Kelsey to team president so he could go to this meeting and give an impassioned speech on why it should stay? Is that true?
Honestly, I have no idea.
I saw he was holding a sign,
No, what did the sign say?
something about the tush push,
Push on.
push on.
That's nice.
I don't know what it said, but
It said the Cowboys will never win a Super Bowl. So I guess Jalen Hurts.
what I don't like about it is, remember when you used to not be able to help your player down the field?
Okay.
That was illegal. Like if a running back is going through the hole, gets tripped up, runs into his lineman, the lineman holds him up and then kind of pushes him to that used to be illegal in the league. Then they changed that. And so now the tush push is taking advantage of that, where everybody on the team is pushing everybody else on the team across the line.
You see it once or
I
twice
don't-
every game. Like a
Right.
running back gets a few yards
Yeah.
into the second level and a couple people stop him, don't take him down. Here comes the lineman. Here comes
Yeah,
the tight
or
end, just
at-
pushing him forward.
Into the goal line, or into the goal.
Yeah.
over
Happens all the
goal
time.
line. Yeah. That used to be illegal.
When it happens organically in the middle of a play, that's fine.
I
But when
don't
they
like-
do it on purpose,
I don't think you should ever. I mean, if the guy can't run on his own, then you can't help him.
What's team sport?
I don't like that.
Sometimes you have to put the pancakers in front of them. And then,
Well, then you have to recognize those guys.
yeah,
with
you
an
have
award.
to.
Yeah.
You just serve them up. Serve them up. And then just get some first down. Now, if the Eagles know what's good, and I believe they do, in your first preseason game, and there's only 3 preseason games now or 2, I'm not 100% sure. You go out there and at minimum the first series,
Every play.
Tush push every play.
The first one of the year, first play the Eagles run should be a tush push. But you do a play action bomb to A.J. Brown because you know whoever the opponent is going to be upset that they weren't able to stop the tush push in the offseason, and they know they can't stop it in regular season, so they're all going to sell out in the first situation. Play action, 80-yard touchdown, guaranteed.
And really, it's just got to be like a little to the outside.
Yeah. And then
like,
Jalen Hurts comes up with his hands around his throat,
Nice.
throwing the choke sign to the world.
It's awesome. Are you excited for this time next year when we talk about banning the tush push?
Yeah. Why can't they stop it?
Like the Cowboys?
Any team.
Oh.
Why can't it be stopped?
Well, the team that does it is just better than everyone else. They won the Super. I don't know if you're aware of this. They won the Super Bowl.
I saw that. Why don't other teams try it? They have somebody else tried it.
A few teams do it, not to the success rate as the Eagles.
What do you think the secret is?
I mean, if they outlawed the tush push, just mix it up a little bit. We're not doing the tush push anymore. This is our new play called the ass blast.
Here are the 10 teams who saved the tush push according to voting as it's being reported, but I'm going to get the name here.
22-10's insane.
Chris Wilk.
22-10 is just wild.
So 22 teams said get rid of it, but these 10 teams said keep it. The Philadelphia Eagles, you've heard of them. The Baltimore Ravens, the Cleveland Browns, the Detroit Lions, the Jacksonville Jaguars, Miami Dolphins, the New England Patriots, the New Orleans Saints, the New Jersey Jets, and the Tennessee Titans. There you go.
I'm surprised Dallas didn't vote for it.
Nobody west of the Mississippi.
I guess Jerry just asked a couple questions. It said, that's weird. I can't imagine Jerry asking any question that was a good question. Pretend the subject.
Well, Steve has made a really good point. What is all this East?
Yeah, everybody.
What is that about?
All those teams are on the East Coast, right?
Yeah.
Nobody on the West Coast ever voted against it.
Okay, maybe it's because it gets cold somewhat on the West Coast, but maybe they're like, they're already used to the physical style because that's how a lot of those teams need physical plays where you can push the running back because it's not just a tush push that would have been banned if this would have gone through. It would have been like literally there would have been plays where if a running back just got pushed in a pile, the ref would have thrown the flag and it'd been one of those things.
That's what I'm saying. It used to be like that.
Yeah. And so I think maybe the reason why the teams that play in the cold, I heard the Jaguars in that mix though.
Yeah, Dolphins were in the mix. They're all on the East Coast.
Also, cold teams don't really exist anymore. They all got roofs and stuff.
Well, all these West Coast teams don't want to have to travel that far. They'll be so tired from their travel, and they got to deal with the tush push when they get there.
Yeah.
So as a Packers fan, let me say I am embarrassed. I'm sorry, sports fans. This was not my idea. As a part owner of the Green Bay Packers, this was not my idea. I sent them a strongly worded email. I was against trying to ban the tush push, but here we are.
I want to hear some audio from this meeting.
No.
From reading it sounded like it was intense. What can you go on for about an hour? It said that the Eagles, what was his name? I think if I heard you say it, the Eagles owner went on for an hour. And to the point where other owners were in there irritated, and one of them was like, "Are you done sleeping yet?"
It's called a filibuster.
Exactly. He did it on purpose.
Yeah.
And also, he just lost so much of his life to talking about this dumb thing they knew wasn't going to happen. This is a teach them a lesson situation.
Yeah.
22-10's close though. If he didn't go for an hour,
22 to 10 is close.
Well, they had to have a majority.
Yeah. Only needed 2 more votes.
No, it wasn't 2. It was 6. They need 6 more, right?
2 more.
No.
They had 24 yeses.
Oh, you're correct. That's hard.
Especially
ironically.
Especially when he gave blood today.
coincidentally and ironically,
Whitehead.
22-10. That's the score of the Eagles beating the Packers in the playoffs last year.
Two men on
That's
95.9 FM and AM 610. The Tush Push. Welcome back to the Albuquerque Duke store. Steve Palmisano is with us, Steven.
What's happening, Fred?
Now, culturally, the Dukes is the most significant thing ever. But for a while, it was a baseball thing.
Correct.
But it's been 25 years.
It has been.
And did you know that's a quarter century?
That's what I heard.
And did you know that The Athletic today, which is the New York Times, released they're all MLB all quarter century team, which is the last 25 years.
Right.
Are you boys ready?
Very.
Yeah. Oh, go ahead.
How many on the team?
Full team.
9 players.
9 players. So it'd be 8 position players, a DH, and some pitchers. Okay.
Okay.
Now I have it in front of me. Where would you like to start, Steven?
Now hold on. Important question.
All right. Don't name anyone yet.
Which quarter century?
This one.
The most recent one. Okay.
Yeah, that's important. Let's start with the Bat Boys.
All
Good
right.
start.
Brandon Ortega for 1 game for the Isotopes.
Okay.
Okay. Carlos Tenorio.
Move on to. So you said there's DH and then some other pitchers. So not just one pitcher.
There are 5. It's a rotation of pitchers. There is no bullpen.
All right. Let's start
That's rude.
with the number 1 position.
So we're like as it's marked
Go
on,
around the
around the horn.
Yeah.
Okay. So according to this, your starting rotation of pitchers in the last 25 years, your starter would be Justin Verlander.
Good get. Good
I was
start.
going to say
Good
Kershaw.
start.
He's number 2.
So this is regular season then, if we're talking Kershaw. This is regular season only,
Regular
Steve.
season, Steve.
Okay.
Why do you have to qualify that? Never mind.
Do we want a baseball reference Clayton Kershaw's postseason success?
After that, one Roy Halladay.
Oh, rest in power, King.
Yeah.
Deserved.
Deserved.
Deserved. I like it.
It's a good pitcher.
After he, according to the Athletic, Max Scherzer,
Mm.
St. Louis native.
Okay. Good get.
And then filling out, you might be a little surprised by this one, Stephen.
Shohei Ohtani.
Nope, not enough games yet. Randy Johnson.
Ooh.
It's interesting.
Now, if you're looking at B-War, who's a rapper?
So they didn't like Schilling.
He didn't have the B-War.
They did my boy dirty.
Who?
MLB legend. Closest thing that we have to a big personality.
Yeah.
On the bump.
Mm-hmm.
Zach Greinke got hosed.
So
Absolutely hosed.
So he is, in the last 25 years, 4th in total WAR for pitchers, behind Verlander on the list, Kershaw on the list, Scherzer on the list. Then it's Zach Greinke right above Roy Halladay.
See?
You are correct, Van.
Told you. Stud on the mound.
Immediately,
and the funnest dude in baseball during that time.
and then it's a drop from him to Roy Halladay. It's like 10 points, and then immediately below Halladay, Steve. I knew we were going to ask your favorite New York Yankee because physically you really identified by this individual, CC Sabathia.
Yeah.
Had a good career. He's
did.
no Zach Greinke.
But it's interesting that Randy Johnson is on that list because when did Randy Johnson stop playing?
If
Most of these other guys are a little more
Might be for photography.
younger.
Yeah, well, they've been playing with him the last week.
But the early 2000s,
Well, I know, but
Randy Johnson was the best pitcher on the planet.
no, I'm just saying it seems like there's a gap from most recently, like Kershaw is still pitching. Verlander just either finished last year or still pitching this year. I don't know. Huh?
It's hot.
Yeah. And then who else? Scherzer,
Yeah.
still pitching.
And Roy Halladay is dead.
Well, just a couple years ago, he was still pitching.
Yeah.
And then they dropped to Randy Johnson, who quit pitching when?
We'd have to look it up.
A long time ago.
Randy Johnson,
2010.
from starting in 1999, which is not a quarter century, 4 straight Cy Youngs, 99, 2000, 1, and 2,
Yeah,
and
but
3.
he's a knucklehead. So I don't know.
second in Cy Young 2004. Led the league in strikeouts 6 times. Very Randy Johnson stuff going on.
How many Cy Youngs did Zach or
One?
Greinke
Got
have?
one.
I believe 1.
Going around the horn. Behind home plate. You know what? With the way the timing's kind of working out. When we're back from the break, we'll give you all the position, guys. It's 2 men on 95.9 FM and AM 610. The Sports Animal. The program. We're going around the horn on the all quarter century team in Major League Baseball, according to Jason Stark of The Athletic. We went through the pitchers. So we're going, you wanted to go numerical, right? So the pitcher is number 1. That makes the catcher number 2.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So behind home plate, according to Jason Stark, is Yadier Molina.
Yo.
Stud.
If we're going all around baseball player, I'm going to have to agree.
Yeah. The only other guy you could talk about is Joe Mauer. Buster Posey.
Buster Posey. Buster Posey would be my vote.
Those are the 3. It's Yadier Molina. He was the winner of that group.
For what he did throwing runners out, framing pitches, playing defense, being a team leader. I think that pushes him over the two guys.
Neck tats.
Sweet, also sweet. It's probably the first quarter century team with a guy with neck tats.
Steve, is that accurate?
According to my research,
Mhm.
I don't have any idea.
Okay.
Okay.
So that's number 2. So number 3 would be first base. That is Albert Pujols at first base.
I mean,
It's a Cardinal sweep thus far.
this is
It's interesting.
the biggest no-brainer on the list. I
Yes.
think.
Yeah. He's one of the best baseball players to ever play the game of baseball.
I would put him on Rushmore of baseball players.
The number 4 position is the second baseman.
Also, no doubt, 100%, no argument ever.
Jose Altuve.
Yeah, baby.
He's number 1.
He is the guy according to this list. I think from what I remember, you could talk about Robinson Cano. Robinson Cano, I bet, has a better WAR than Jose Altuve, but he didn't win the games that
It's
way.
got to be super close.
It's got to be close.
Also, they're both
Unless he got in
cheaters.
trouble.
Which
Yeah.
what?
Oh yeah, they did
Yeah.
both cheat.
Robinson Cano cheated for Robinson Cano. Jose Altuve was implicated in the Astros cheating scandal.
Third base blows my mind.
So they're only doing one per position?
Yeah.
At least? Okay.
Third base is wrong. Jason Stark says it's Adrian Beltre,
Hmm.
and it is not. It is Alex Rodriguez. He says it's Adrian Beltre, but it's not. It should be Alex Rodriguez.
Well, Adrian Beltre was a third baseman his whole career,
That's accurate.
and he was also incredible.
Yeah, pretty good.
Alex Rodriguez had a higher peak, but Adrian Beltre was good for 20 years. I have no problem with this. Also, A-Rod was a shortstop and a third baseman,
No,
and he
first of all.
gets neither on this list.
Steven?
I'm wondering what. So I don't know. I need to look some stuff up.
All right. At the 6, which is the shortstop position, if there was a no-brainer in this one, I think it's this guy. Now, statistically, you're going to say Francisco Lindor, but it's definitely
Shortstop.
Derek Jeter.
Right.
It has to be Derek Jeter.
Right.
But he had so much success in the 90s. I think it takes away
Mm-hmm.
from the last 25 years.
So
If
who
I-
is it?
It's Derek Jeter. But Francisco Lindor was better
And still is.
and still is.
And still is. Derek Jeter, his whole career, was never the best shortstop in Major League Baseball,
No,
but he was second, third, or fourth
the whole time.
his whole career, which is admirable.
Now, Steve, you're a Yankees fan.
Yeah.
How do you feel about this?
I mean, if they want to put him number 1, that's fine.
Playing left
I
field.
mean, he's wrong. He's been wrong on some others up to this point, but I'll take that one.
Playing left field, number 7 is Barry Bonds in left
No,
field.
No brainer.
That's ridiculous.
It might be the most no-brainer. Center field is Mike Trout, which I believe is accurate.
Also a no brainer.
The only other guy I think you could have talked about is Jim Edmonds.
You could have. You personally.
And then rounding out, Steve, the players before getting the designated hitter is Aaron Judge in right field. Aaron Judge.
Flip a coin.
They're going to put him as DH.
No, he's in right field.
Oh,
And I think he's there, but if you said Mookie Betts, it would be hard for me to say you're wrong.
Yeah, but Mookie Betts, right fielder, second baseman, shortstop, designated hitter,
Why are you doing this? Why,
bullpen pitcher,
why are you punishing these guys?
mop up pitcher.
Bowler.
Yeah. But he's a better bowler than baseball player, and he's a Hall of Fame baseball player.
Do me a favor, look up Niger Morgan's WAR.
Why would I go about doing that?
I think he might deserve to be on the list.
Okay.
I think he might be a guy. DH, Steve?
Yep.
David Ortiz.
ugh.
The obvious answer.
Edgar Martinez could have also been an answer.
Too much 90s.
Too much 90s.
Yeah. It has to be David Ortiz.
And Alan Craig for 1 October.
Why not?
Everyone's a DH now.
Yeah.
So
DH bats. Shohei's a DH.
who do you believe is the biggest snub? Because I have an obvious one.
Of all of them,
Yeah,
you think it's Buster Posey?
I do not.
All right, who is it?
That would be Ichiro Suzuki.
Yeah,
That is wild.
in right field.
Yeah. I would snub Judge and Betts and put Ichiro in right field.
I think there's a lot of
Didn't he retire?
5 minutes ago.
I mean, he's the whole bulk of the last quarter century, 01 to 2019.
Oh, okay.
He was spectacular 01 to basically 12.
He had so many hits. Is Bartolo Colon an option at DH, man, or was he not eligible?
I mean, David Ortiz beats Bartolo by a hair.
DH stands for designated hunk, and that's what he was.
Mhm.
Steve, how do you feel about all this saucy Bartolo Colon talk?
Don't really have an opinion on him.
Dang, Steve's not a big sexy guy?
Not really.
A combined almost 2,000 games for Miggy at two different positions. Played 700 him at third, paid 1,200 him at first.
Split the vote.
Miggy was the man, though. That's Miguel Cabrera.
You're not putting him ahead of Pujols. He didn't play enough third base to put him ahead of Beltre or A-Rod, so he's just caught in the gray.
I have a baseball signed by Albert Pujols. Just in case you're wondering.
And Jason Stark's list did not include a bullpen or a closer,
It did not.
but that one is ridiculously obvious.
Mariano.
Billy Wagner. Yeah, correct, Steve. It was Billy Wagner.
Yeah,
Should have been Billy Wagner. Yeah.
Mariano.
Of the 2000s?
I don't know. What,
Yeah, Rivera's like 90s stuff, though. Like who's the closer?
Papelbon.
For like a minute. There were a couple guys who were the guy for a minute, and then they got figured out. And they were always the weirdest dudes.
In between 2000 and when he retired in 2013,
Take your time.
Mariano Rivera had 11 All-Stars, including his last year in the league.
That was pretty good.
So who did you say?
Oh, Billy Wagner.
No.
Oh, yeah, Billy Wagner.
Trevor Hoffman?
No. He's
Strong silver.
too early. I mean, yeah, before the
Before the period. Who's that guy? Isringhausen? He had a bunch of saves.
Hoffman only played till 10.
There was a bunch of dudes at that time that played specifically for this list. Yeah, but reliever's hard. And then because the way the game got all changed around, guys wouldn't get shots at saves the way they used to.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you got your specialty guy or whatever. You go out there to do special things, helping the team win.
It's not Mariano. It's got to be Josh Hader.
Yeah, he was really good for a minute.
Still is.
Aroldis Chapman.
Could play. It's a very good episode of the show today.
It's over already?
Every day. Every day. Steve Palmisano, the Albuquerque Dukes.
Thanks for being here, you guys.
It was really nice.
Yeah. Come back anytime you like.
As long as we don't drop the ball.
Just let me know. Just don't drop the ball and don't tell me.
Isaiah back at the studio.
SGA just got his award presented to him pregame. So because of that, I think he'll be unfocused, and I'm going to take the Timberwolves tonight.
Ooh.
Van, final words?
Oh, my goodness, my friend. Too much for the time allotted. Anything that we didn't cover, check out tomorrow morning on the opening drive with Jeff and JJ.
Good job, everyone. Keep breathing.
See you tomorrow, Burke.